Packers camp, but we're awaiting a new contract. Jory Epstein, writing for Yahoo Sports, that Love's contract needs to rival the Prince's deal. Now, the Prince signed an extension this summer that pays him $55 million a year. Greg, which QB would you rather have, Jordan Love or Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. the Prince who was promised?
Come on now, Wilds. Give me Jordan.
Yeah, I kind of figured he used to play for the Packers.
It's just that simple. I'm kind of like Patrick Mahomes after seeing the Kermit stuff. It's not even worth really discussing.
Well, it's worth discussing a little.
Jordan Love, if we look at what he did to end last season, because what you like to do sometimes.
It's totally fair. It's a great final stretch. Yeah, that's fair.
Look at these numbers. Like, this is real. Like, this is
Small.
who Jordan Love.
Short.
It's
real short, but it's great.
Real short and real valuable.
Yeah.
And the timing of it could not have come at a better time and more important time.
No, that's right. And it doesn't even include his great playoff game against the Cowboys.
So when we assess individuals like this, we assess them against the top tier talent, against when they did it, and Jordan Love checks every box. Like, when he decided to turn this on, could not have been better, could not have meant more, could not have solidified in our minds what he has the potential to continue being for this organization. So, like, when I look at Trevor Lawrence, there's been, regardless of injury, there's just been too much of a roller coaster. I don't know what he is and what he's going to be from week to week.
No, that's fair. My answer is Trevor, but I have some, I guess, anchoring bias there because he was, a far better collegiate player. He has, they have reached the exact same heights in the NFL. Their best seasons are identical. They both went 9-8. They both won a playoff game. They both lost a tough round 2 playoff game to the team that eventually went to the Super Bowl. Like, that's, so those things are not. Trevor's done more, which means he has had more good games, but also a lot more bad games. I get that piece of it. I also, when we put this in the show, Tua's contract hadn't come down yet. I think Tua's contract makes Jordan's negotiation way easier. Because I think now Jordan's going to get Tua's deal plus $1 million. I don't think it'll be 5 for $270 the way Trevor's was. I think it'll be 4 for $215. So I think he'll come in right around $53.5 million a year, and it'll be a 4-year deal.
You don't think he's like, I need Trevor's money?
Well, so here's the thing. Trevor and Joe, who both got $55 million, they both signed with 2 years remaining on their deal, so it actually ended up, you can spread it out over more existing contract years. The guys who have gotten the 4 for $210-ish, Goff and Tua, both only had 1 year left on their deal. That's the same with Jordan. So I would imagine it's going to be based off the Goff-Tua number. So I think that's probably where he's going to get. And I think that's reasonable. I'd certainly rather pay Jordan Love than Tua.
A glass of water for dinner.
I mean, this guy's out of his mind.
To celebrate his sibling's birthday.
This guy's out of his mind. He brings his own Tupperware to restaurants.
And he didn't.
Can't be trusted.
Was it tap or did you get a bottle? Like
Tap.
This guy is out of his mind.
He asked me, do you want still water?
I'm just like, no, okay. Yeah, I mean, you look great, but it's not worth it. Not worth it. Go ahead.
I don't know. Today, first things first, Dak opens the door to leaving Dallas. Is he bluffing or is he actually serious? Meanwhile, Rodgers, dark horse MVP. Is that a good thing? I'm not 100% sure. And finally, Bill Barnwell, friend of the show, takes a shot at predicting Brock's upcoming contract, $65 million a year.
Oh, I can't wait for this segment.
Did you read the full article? Your friend, Bill Barnwell?
I actually did read the full article, and I'll bet sight unseen, you did not make it through the whole thing.
I did a little.
I know it.
Did you read the whole thing?
Look at him.
Look, we're talking about you right now.
It's like 22 minutes. I read several of the chapters. It's a chapterized article. He's like, skip the
Like
window.
all of
Want to
Barnwell.
trade Rock?
Yeah.
Is he actually as
Yeah.
good? How
I
does he
read
compare
the
to
whole
Jimmy
thing
G?
while I was eating.
I may have skipped one part.
You skipped a lot.
No,
Let's just start
I may have
the
skipped
show.
one part.
This guy tried to
skipped
say
more
to
than
me,
one
"Did
part.
you read the article?" When he didn't read the article.
You better read the whole article.
I did.
There's a lot of Brock
I
compliments in there.
understand.
A lot.
I know.
You were basically
Because
called
I
out by
read it.
name. We start with a puppet. The Raiders poked the bear with a frog wearing a Mahomes jersey. Someone also said, "I'm here," which Mahomes yelled at Max Crosby during 2022's Week 5 victory, one of his 10 wins against the Raiders. Mahomes was asked about this incident and the Raiders' antics today. Take a listen.
I know you've probably seen the video of the Raiders with the Muppet of you. Is that something that you kind of compartmentalize when you get ready to play them?
Yeah, I mean, it's still early in the year. Kind of stuff like that happens. It'll get handled when it gets handled.
I mean, here's the thing, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on this. It is, Aaron Rodgers said words can be deceiving and mean different things, but I think words and definitions matter, which is why I have a hard time saying this is a lopsided rivalry, because it has not been a rivalry in quite some time. Mm-hmm. What it has been is multi-year beatdowns, then a fluke that the team gets overly excited about that then leads to more years of beatdowns. So here is the history of Patrick versus the Las Vegas, Oakland Raiders. He beat them 4 straight times to start his career, averaging 35 points per game in those wins with 2 separate 4-touchdown games. They then finally got one and promptly took their team bus on laps around the stadium. Shortly thereafter, they had to fire their GM, fire their head coach, lost 6 more times to Patrick, where he averaged 36 points per game with a 5-touchdown and a 4-touchdown game. They then beat him one more time, got overly excited, and he then won a Super Bowl in their building, and now they're doing this. So his numbers in his career against the Raiders are, we can show it to you. I mean, there's nobody he tortures more.
30-4 is
30-4 touchdown interception. Average score is 34-19. And now, my real takeaway, Greg, is thank you. Because I was a little worried that late in the Chiefs season, they might hit a bit of a lull. They have a Week 12 game against the against the Panthers. They then play a Black Friday home game against the lowly Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew-led Raiders. Right after a holiday, short week, when you're not playing anybody tough. But now they won't. Because now you have somehow given Patrick Mahomes more ammunition for a team that has no business giving him any ammunition. So that was my takeaway from it, Greg.
Well, I loved it.
Really?
I did. I actually did. Whatever fan brought that to the practice, kudos to you. Because what the Raiders need is to, regardless of how someone has been treating you, beating you up, you got to show that I'm not afraid of the big bad wolf. I'm not afraid of the bully. I'm not afraid of the one who's on top. Like, this team have to change everything. And with Antonio Pierce at the helm now, understanding, like, I'm a bully myself. So, I absolutely love this. They didn't shy back. I also love, on the flip side, Patrick Mahomes' response. Because if you watch that, his body didn't shift, his demeanor didn't change, nothing about him cared. And when you own someone the way that Patrick Mahomes has owned the Raiders, you dismiss it. The one thing you can do to kind of just almost disrespect someone who's disrespecting you, so not even pay them any. It's like,
yeah,
I don't care.
Right. The opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is indifference or
Absolutely.
whatever. Yeah, I understand.
Past that.
Well, okay. Sorry, shut up. Go ahead.
Greg, I understand trying to take a counter take to it. About, you can't be afraid of the bully, you have to fire back, and, Max Crosby right in Mahomes' face. If I made a list of all of the tough things in the world to prove that you're not afraid, far down the list, right after maybe unicorns, would be puppets. So the idea that they're like, man, we're not afraid of them. Get that puppet. That's going to work. So Antonio Pierce, I was wondering what he was going to say. He had a quote that said, we addressed it as a team yesterday and we nipped it in the bud. It's over with. Andy Reid addressed it today. Take a listen.
Is it a smart idea to fire up Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I'd probably say not. We don't spend a lot of time here with puppets.
Okay, so let me ask you a question real
That's
quick.
shout out to
Greg.
Jonathan Jones at CBS.
Because I'm going to show a graphic. It's very simple, but